Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. So on today's episode, I'll be doing a complete detail. You guys have been waiting for this for a while now. So a full interior and exterior detailing of this brand new Volvo XC90. It's been a long day. I spent almost 12 hours detailing this car, and hopefully, as you can tell, it came out pretty awesome. So the customer just took delivery from the dealership and of course wanted to protect it for many years to come, and especially now we're right dead smack in winter time. So I'm going to show you guys what I did, of course, to clean and protect every surface of this vehicle. You're also going to see all the tools, the products, and the equipment that I use. So without further ado, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and start the show. All right, let's get this detail job started, guys. So we're going to first apply a pre-treatment. So this is extra tough. It's a multi-purpose cleaner and degreaser, diluted 1-in-1 with water. And we're spraying this on the paintwork liberally. So this is to start breaking down any waxes or paint sealants that might be on the vehicle, because for the future application of a ceramic coating later in the video, we need to work with a virgin clear coat. Now, to further that process, we're applying a snow foam, in this case, Purple Power Vehicle and Boat Wash. So it's a pressure wash concentrate, a higher pH level soap that again will help to remove any traffic film that might be on the vehicle, any older waxes and sealants as well. So basically it helps the breakdown process. So we're going to let that dwell for a few minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and rinse off. So as you're going to see in the video, guys, it's always very important to make sure that you do all the preparation steps to the best of your capabilities, because the better you prep the vehicle beforehand, the better the ceramic coating will bond to the clear coat. You're going to get better performance out of the paint protection item that you're applying, and also greater durability. So after you're done rinsing, we're going to go ahead and tack the wheels and tires. In this case, I'm using the Auto Fanatic wheel cleaning foam that I applied using my IK Foam 9. So that's a pump sprayer. So that's basically good to degrease the tires and also to clean the wheel faces and the wheel barrels. So the entire wheels basically. I'm using a Tough Shine stiff tire brush. And for the inside parts of the wheels, I'm using a Speedmaster. That's a brush that I love for the inner barrels, because they can get between big brake calipers and between all those spokes, as you can tell. And for the faces of the brushes of the wheels, I'm using a Wheel Woolies, and this is a boar hair brush. So it's very gentle for any wheel finish, and it gets the job done perfectly. So once we're done, we're going to go ahead and, of course, rinse the wheel and tires as well. All right, let's move on to the wash stage. So in this case, we're going to use the 2-bucket method. So one bucket containing the soapy solution and the other bucket just containing clean water. So you dunk your mitt in the clean section to clean off your mitt, and then you dunk it back into the soapy solution. This is always in an effort to minimize scratches and swirls on the paintwork. Also notice that I'll flip the mitt often when changing panels. And also I work from top to bottom, because the bottom parts of the vehicle you keep for the end, as they're the dirtiest parts of the car. I also used, in this case, Adam's Strip Wash. It's a soap that helps to further break down any older waxes or paint sealants, but you can use a traditional pH neutral shampoo as long as there's no protection in that shampoo, so no waxes or sealants, because we're going to apply a ceramic coating. Next, we move on to the chemical decontamination stage using an iron remover. In this case, Geon Iron. It's basically a chemical that sprays on clear, and when it reacts with the iron particles that come from brake dust or industrial fallout, it turns purple. So the particles have been melted away, and you can heavily rinse the vehicle after this stage. Always make sure you work in a shaded area and on cool surfaces. Next, we move on to the mechanical decontamination or the clay stage. So in this case, I'm using a clay towel, but you can use a clay mitt or a clay bar with a clay lubricant. And this is to remove any further leftover embedded contaminants that might be left in the clear coat. I only recommend the clay stage if your vehicle really needs it. So run your fingers, especially on the lower parts of the car. And if you feel some grittiness or a sandpaper-like texture, then you know it's time to clay. And after a clay stage, because you can add some marring on the paint, you usually follow this by paint polishing stage. Quick tip, add some protection to the wheels and inner barrels by applying a silica spray sealant that is a spray-on rinse-off formula. Now we move on to the drying stage. So I first start by using a microfiber drying towel, and typically I like to use the twisted loop microfiber technology because they're some of the most absorbent types of microfibers. In this case, I'm using the Geon Silk Dryer Towel. CarPro and the Rag Company also make some great ones, and it's very important to make sure that you do the drying very efficiently because you want to make sure the vehicle is completely dry and free of any standing water before you apply any type of ceramic coating. So to make sure of that, I'm also using a car dryer. So it's kind of a blower. In this case, it's my Metrovac Master Blaster Revolution. So this one here is very powerful. And as you can tell, it helps to remove the water even after I've dried it with a microfiber towel. It helps to remove all the water that might be in the headlights, taillights, the tires, the rims, the door jambs, door sills, the gas cap, any grills in the front or back as well. I then will open all the doors and we'll continue to clean all the door jambs and the door sills using a solution of Optimum No Rinse. So this is basically a rinseless wash. You dilute it 256:1. That's the standard dilution ratio. So it adds a bit of lubrication while you're drying. Use a good quality microfiber towel and you're going to do a tip-top job. We move on to the paint polishing stage, guys, using a Rupes LHR15 Mark II, a dual action polisher, and a Rupes yellow foam pad in combination with Sonac's Perfect Finish. So that's a polish that has mild cutting capabilities, but has great finishing. So if you guys have been following my videos, I have tutorials on paint polishing, but I should tell you that this is what truly removes scratches and swirl marks. In this case, they were very light because the vehicle was just a few days old and didn't have deep scratches or swirl marks, but we're still polishing the paint to remove those lighter or smaller scratches and swirls and add depth and gloss to the paintwork, because you want to make the paint as smooth as possible so that way you get better light reflection. And this is what basically gives you a true and well prepped clear coat before the application of a ceramic coating, a wax, or a paint sealant. So in this case, once I remove the polish, I also inspect my work by using an IPA, isopropyl alcohol mix. This is CarPro Eraser. It's an intensive polish oil remover. So you want to remove all the oils. So you'll make sure that there are no fillers left. And then I use my Scan Grip inspection light to go over my work. I like to do things with a fine-tooth comb. So I inspect to make sure that my passes have removed any imperfections and have left behind a nice gloss and shine. I'll go over one last time with the IPA mix, in this case again, CarPro Eraser, to make sure I remove any polishing oils from the surface. This is very important because you want your ceramic coating to bond directly to a virgin clear coat. So final stage for the paintwork is the paint protection stage. In this case, we're applying a consumer grade ceramic coating that lasts up to 2 years. So this is CarPro Seaquartz UK 3.0, which won first place for my favorite ceramic coating in my 2019 Car Detailing Products Awards video. So we apply this in movements of up and down and left to right, which we call a cross hash pattern. You're gonna let the product flash, meaning you're gonna wait for it to change colors. It gives you kind of a rainbow effect when it's ready for you to buff off or level off using a first microfiber towel. In my case, in my conditions and humidity, where I work in my garage in the controlled environment, it's roughly 30 seconds after application before it's ready to buff off. We call that buffing off, but really you're leveling the coating, so you're removing any high spots. So I use a first microfiber towel to do the initial wipe off, and then a second clean and dry microfiber towel to make sure I'm removing any high spots, and then to really make sure, again, I'm being really particular, but I always like to do things correctly. So I'm using a scan grip inspection light. In this case, it's a line light, and these are perfect to see if you have any high spots that are left from your ceramic coating. So you go over the entire vehicle, try to work in smaller sections, either 2x2 or 4x4, depending on your level of comfort and experience. So as you can tell, it lays on very, very easily. And once the product flashes, depending of course on your conditions, 30 seconds to a minute with this type of ceramic coating, read the instructions to make sure you do things properly, but then you're ready to buff off. Again, I like to use 2 microfiber towels, low nap towels as well. Don't use super plush towels to remove ceramic coatings because you're not going to enjoy the experience. So these are the Rag Company Pearl towels, so they're perfect to remove ceramic coatings. And then I use their standard garage type microfiber towels to do the second buff off. Again, always inspect your work after every pass. I often get this question, but yes, you can apply the same ceramic coating that you use for the paintwork. You can apply that to the headlights and taillights using the same up and down and left to right cross hash pattern. You let it flash and then ready to buff off using the same 2 towel method. So basically this is going to protect your headlights and taillights from fading or from oxidizing because of the sun's damaging UV rays. So this is a great solution to prevent that. And well, it's a telltale sign, right? When we have an older vehicle and we see those yellow lights or headlights, we know that it's been aging and not protected. So in this case, you're going to help to protect your investment. I also went ahead and applied the ceramic coating to the exhaust tailpipes, which is going to help to prevent against carbon buildup and soot buildup behind there. So it makes the things easier to clean. So I waited about an hour after the initial coat before applying a second coat. So of course, always read the instructions that come with your ceramic coating of choice, depending on which brand you use. But typically, companies will recommend 2 coats of the ceramic coating, not necessarily because you're adding more protection, but more to ensure that you're getting proper coverage. So during the first pass, you might have forgotten a small spot. So by doing a second layer, of course, you're making sure that you're getting the most durability because you're going to cover 100% of the paintwork. So now, 4 hours after the final coat of ceramic coating, we're applying a topper. In this case, this is CarPro Gliss version 2.0, and a topper basically helps to prevent any water spotting from occurring on your coating during especially the first week where it's most critical. And also it's going to increase the water contact angle. It has anti-static properties. It's going to boost gloss a bit and add even more slickness and hydrophobic properties to your coating. All right, pretty self-explanatory, but we're attacking or tackling the interior, and I'm first starting by vacuuming. I'm using a rigid wet and dry vacuum, and I have the deluxe car detailing kit. So that's the orange hose that you see that is way more durable than the standard hose that came with the vacuum itself. Yeah, you guys work with whichever routine you guys prefer. I know some people like to do the headliner first and then finish with the bottom. Basically, this car was brand new, so the headliner needed no attention. But once I'm done vacuuming, I'm going to protect all the fabric and textiles with CarPro Sequartz fabric. So it's basically a water repelling formula, and it prevents, of course, any seats from getting stained or carpets when you have liquid spills. Next, I went ahead and protected all the hard surfaces with 303 aerospace protectant. So it's very important to do this because you're protecting your interior surfaces from cracking, fading, and oxidizing against the sun's damaging UV rays. So it prevents all that because it has built-in UV protection. So take your time. I like to use either a foam applicator or a microfiber applicator pad to do this. And of course, well, it does a great job. It leaves that matte OEM finish as well. For the glass, I'm using Stoner Invisible Glass. This has won pretty much my favorite glass cleaner in all of my car detailing products awards video. And it's safe for tinted windows as well. As you can see here, use a glass towel, a waffle weave microfiber towel in this case. Roll down the windows and also pinch the top. So that way, that's a quick tip because you're really cleaning the glass properly. Make sure, of course, you clean the glass inside and out. I use the box technique. So you start from the edges and work your way in. And that's it for that. For the leather, of course, we want to protect the leather surfaces. So what I do is I'm applying Geon Leather Shield. It's basically a ceramic coating for leather. It has about a year durability. Will protect against dye transfer. It's going to protect against wear and damage from all the friction that comes when you're moving in and out of your seats, and basically protects against liquid spills as well. Makes it very easy to clean if anything happens. You can apply that to your leather steering wheel and shift knob. Of course, if your vehicle is older, I will recommend that you first degrease the leather surfaces using a leather cleaner and a leather brush. You got to prep the leather before you coat it. In this case, the vehicle is brand new, so only needed some protection. I always like to go the extra mile. Why not, right? For the customers, I like to over deliver. So in this case, I took the leather wrapped key fobs and I also applied the Geon Leather Shield. That's the leather coating. So I applied that on the surface to make sure that those key fobs look great for a long while. And I mean, it enriched the appearance of the leather. It gave it all that protected touch, and I think the owner was ecstatic when he found out that I also did that for him. So that's a lesson to learn, guys. Always make sure that you treat your customers like royalty. I detail my customers' cars the same way I would detail my own, and they appreciate that. It's always nice to add a finishing touch to the tires. That always completes a detail job. So I'm using a brand new tire dressing by 303. It's in a form of an aerosol can. It's a self-leveling formula, and you let it dwell for roughly 10 minutes after you're done applying it, and it leaves a satin finish on the tires. So while they look crispy, it gives that deep, dark, rich look, as you can see here. So it gives it that nicely detailed touch, and I think pretty much everybody likes that. All right, guys, final results time. Look at the gloss and clarity on this vehicle. It came out absolutely stunning. So again, the paintwork was completely washed and decontaminated for iron particles, as well as a clay bar where it was needed to remove embedded contaminants. Then we went ahead and polished the surface to perfection to give it this awesome wet look, remove any minor swirls or scratches that might have been done during transportation or preparation by the dealership. We went ahead and did a full IPA, isopropyl alcohol mix wipe down to remove the polishing oils. We applied 2 coats of CarPro Sequartz UK 3.0, so that's a ceramic coating that's good for at least 2 years of protection. And we also added a 3rd layer, so a top coat, CarPro Gliss version 2.0. So let's have a look. Let's take a closer look here. Look at the reflection. Wow. Everything was protected from top to bottom. The headlights and taillights were also ceramic coated. So as the grills, Of course, all the chrome trim work. We went ahead, deconned, washed, and also protected the rims thanks to Geon Wet Coat. So a spray-on rinse-off SiO2 based formula. We applied 303, the new tire dressing from the company. So this is their protectant in the form of a spray-on. More on all the products that you can see here in just a few seconds. Of course, all the glass was cleaned, interior and exterior. We also ceramic coated the black piano trims. All the interior is completely vacuumed. All the surfaces were protected with 303 interior aerospace protectant. Leather surfaces were protected with a ceramic coating, Geon leather. So with the seats, these will be protected against fading and cracking. They're also going to prevent any liquid spills from penetrating the surface. And also this is going to prevent dye transfer and friction damage. So again, all the surfaces were protected. The carpets were also protected with CarPro Sequartz fabric. So a coating for any fabric and upholstery. Let's check out the rear here. So all the floor mats were done. All the interior surfaces, including this awesome panoramic moonroof, were completely done. In the back, we even ceramic coated the exhaust tailpipes. Again, look at all this gloss and clarity, guys. Look at all the definition. So the paintwork is now silky smooth. Let's have a pan here. No pun intended. Look at this. Mirror shine. No details were spared. So now this is pretty much bulletproof. Should be resisting any chemicals ranging from pH 2-3 all the way up to pH 11 and 12. Even pushing on pH 13, so very good chemical resistance, amazing gloss, amazing slickness. The top coat is going to protect the paintwork against, well, any water. Water spotting is the thing with ceramic coatings, especially in their first 5 to 7 days as they cure. So right now the vehicle is going to stay 24 hours in the garage to fully cure, and it'll be ready to tackle the elements. Just don't forget, guys, when you're done applying a ceramic coating, wait 5 to 7 days before you go ahead and do your next wash. That's very important. So 5 to 7 days to allow the coating to completely cure before attacking it with some chemicals. And then it's just a matter of every 2 to 3 months, quick maintenance using an SiO2 spray sealant. In this case, what I'll recommend is going to be CarPro Reload. So you can use this as a drying aid, or once the car is completely washed, rinsed, and dried, spritz a little bit on each section and then wipe it in with a microfiber towel, flip the towel to the dry side, buff it off, and that's it. You're going to replenish and boost the effects of your coating and protect the longevity of it. So that's a quick tip. Of course, many tutorials on my channel, but guys, let me know in the comment section under the video how awesome this is. Now, I know you guys want to know what products and tools I used. So let's just have a quick final look here for the interior as well. Even the steering wheel and shifter knob were protected with a leather coating. So no details were spared. This is now immaculate. Even the door trims, the door sills, the gaskets, you name it, everything was done. And now every interior surface and exterior surface is not only clean, but more importantly, protected. So that's what this channel is all about. So let's make a quick run through. By the way, I'll have the links to all the products and tools in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. But essentially, we did a pre-rinse with this, or let's say a preconditioning with Extra Tough. It's basically an all-purpose or multi-purpose cleaner. Very powerful to strip away any waxes and old sealants that might have been left there by the dealership. So this is a 1-to-1 dilution. Then we went ahead and did the pre-wash with the foam cannon using Purple Power Vehicle and Boat Wash. This is a higher pH soap to, again, strip away any previous waxes or sealants, because you want to make sure before you apply ceramic coating that you prep your paint correctly and that there's no protection on it, because the ceramic coatings have to bond to virgin clear coat. For the wash stage, using the dual bucket method, we used Adams strip wash again to make sure we remove any previous protection. The door sills, door jambs, door guards, interior gas cap, and all that stuff cleaned with O&R, diluted 256:1, classic dilution. We went ahead and removed all the iron contaminants, so basically the brake dust and industrial fallout, using Geon iron. Let it dwell a couple of minutes while the paint is wet to increase efficiency, and then you rinse away. We went ahead and clayed the lower portions of the doors, only clay if needed, guys. We used Geon clay lube and a nanoskin clay towel. The rims, once they were clean, of course, and washed, we protected with Geon wet coat, so an SiO2 spray-on rinse-off formula. The paintwork was polished to perfection with Sonak's Perfect Finish. So this is a finishing polish. So it has mild cutting abilities, but the finishing is what is the best, because this gives gloss to the paintwork, restores lots of color and depth. We combined this with the Rupes yellow foam pad and my Rupes LHR 15 Mark II polisher. Once polishing was done, we used CarPro Reset. This is an IPA, so isopropyl alcohol mix, to basically remove any polishing oils, because you want to make sure, again, that your ceramic coating properly bonds to the clear coat. We went ahead and applied 2 coats of CarPro Seaquartz UK 3.0, my favorite consumer grade ceramic coating. So we applied the first coat, waited an hour, then applied the second coat. We waited another 4 hours before we applied a third coat, or the top coat, which is CarPro Gliss 2.0. So this has crazy water beating angles. It has anti-static properties. This, of course, is going to boost gloss a bit as well. And more importantly, it's going to protect the ceramic coating against water spotting. Then we go ahead, we cleaned the glass with Stoner Invisible Glass, another classic. The interior plastic surfaces and vinyl and rubber were protected with 303 aerospace protectant, UV protection built in, awesome stuff, leaves a matte OEM finish. The carpeting was protected with CarPro Seaquartz fabric, so this is water and stain resistant. All the leather surfaces were treated and protected with Geon Leather Shield, so this is basically a ceramic coating for leather surfaces. The tires were, of course, dressed and protected. This is the brand new 303 tire coating and protectant. Video, of course, for pretty much any one of these products is available on my channel right now. A bunch of microfiber towels, of course, were used. It was an insane detail. So again, guys, I hope you enjoyed this full-blown complete interior and exterior detailing. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you click the subscribe button that's found under this video, and that way you'll subscribe to my channel and never miss my future videos. While you're at it, of course, have a quick look and go and follow me on my Instagram page. You never know what awesome stuff you're gonna find there as well. And well, guys, as I usually say, in the meantime, don't forget to keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you guys on the next one.